Assalamualaikum everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
How are all of you?
Very fine, thank you.
Good.
Alhamdulillah.
The weather has been pretty fickle-minded, isn't it?
Yeah, it's raining.
It's been
and it's
very sunny in the morning and then it rains after Zohor. Right, but how are you doing health-wise? Are you doing okay?
I got tonsil this morning.
Allah. Are you feeling better? I hope you're feeling better.
I drank a lot of vitamin C.
That's good.
InsyaAllah. Syafakillah.
Inshallah. Okay. Today, as you can see, we have a very special guest joining us. We would like to introduce Kak Mashita. Hi, Kak Mashita. Kak Mashita. Yes.
Welcome.
Just a little bit intro of Kak Mashita. She is, as she said, in her 40s. She's a mother of 5 children, 2 adults, 1 teenager and 2 teenagers. She has been married for 22 years and she's been a homemaker for the past 15 years. Before that, she's been working in the early childhood education sector. Yeah.
Inshallah.
We are looking forward to hear more about her experience, wisdom, inshallah, her perspective. Yeah.
InsyaAllah.
What's the topic that we're going to talk about tonight?
Alright, tonight, inshallah, we'll be talking about green flags in choosing spouse. So the previous podcast, 2-part episodes, right? We talked extensively about how to choose a partner. And now we're going to talk about the specific qualities, the green qualities or the green flags.
What is green flag, Zach?
It's the opposite, I think, of red flags.
And
Usually
what is
when we
red
talk,
flag?
chill. So usually when we talk about choosing a spouse, we talk about is there any red flags when you go through this relationship? Usually people ask, what are red flags? Red flags are usually in Malay they call it tanda-tanda or signs that requires us to pause and consider and investigate whether this is something that should happen, should exist in the relationship. That's the red flag. So the green flag is
the opposite.
The opposite, like a traffic light, right? So green means go. So go ahead. Yeah, by all means. This is
positive lah. It's on the positive
Checklist. These are the checklist on the note.
Yeah, these are the qualities that.
So, do you mean that if we found these green flags in our future spouse or future partner, then we must grab that person lah?
We may want to choose a different verb. We don't grab people. Yeah, maybe we would like to shortlist this person, perhaps, or welcome this person into our life. Yeah.
Okay,
So that's so we're gonna talk more about what this green flag is about. So, perhaps you can start off the conversation about why is knowing a green flag important when you start a relationship?
Okay. Prior to this episode I came across this article. It's actually written by this Dr. George, he's a relationship expert. So he's a co-author of How to Make the Biggest Decision of Your Life. Okay, he wrote that if we believe being overly focused on finding the red flags in relationship is actually misguided. Because new couples, right, they should consider whether they have green flags, because that is the key to a long-lasting relationship. Yeah. So he also emphasized that a little caution is probably prudent, because I think most of us, sometimes we also get to know people from dating apps, from internet, from social media, where mostly, not most but basically we can find pretenders, But he also cautioned that there is also a danger of becoming overly negative and suspicious. So that is why looking out for green flags are as important as red flags. Okay, what is their purpose? Especially those that that have battling wounds of the previous relationship. This may also help to knock down the walls and defense mechanism that you put a barrier to finding a new partner or a new spouse. Yeah.
So do you mean like finding something positive is better rather than you keep like being paranoid looking for some red flags?
I think it's a balance.
It's a balance. Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's because that because that if people went through relationship that didn't work out, or failure or failed relationship, they will have this barrier that they put when getting to know a new spouse, because they will be like, oh, he's like this, he's like my previous, he's like my ex, you
Very
know.
cautious and guarded.
Yeah, very cautious. So it can be totally like over negative.
Yeah.
Because that's the person's trauma, see, and she has
Yes,
that person
trauma.
will have that filter in her, and that cannot
Correct,
be enough
yes.
sometimes. Yeah.
I love the description. It's a filter lah. I mean, filters do not exist suddenly. It exists. It is created from our life experiences lah.
Yeah.
Right?
It protects you in a way.
Protects you. So correct. Defense mechanism. Okay. As you were talking about the green flag, I'm wondering whether there's a yellow flag. Anyway.
Orange flag.
Anyway.
Amber, you mean?
Being a traffic light.
Yeah, it's traffic light, right?
Yeah.
Okay, stop. Like that.
Yeah. I mean, Jay. Okay, let's go to you lah. What does Islam say about finding someone good? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer lah. But is there some dalil or hadith or things in the Quran that motivates or encourages people about finding a partner of good character or green flag character?
Like what we shared before, there are prophet sayings on what to look for, the attributes, the akhlaq and everything that we want. And like for the green flag itself, there is no specific things lah. But in Surah An-Nur, Allah says al-khabithatu lil-khabithin wal-khabithuna lil-khabithat wat-tayyibatu lit-tayyibin wat-tayyibuna lit-tayyibat, which is a good lady is for a good man, a good man is for a good lady, a bad lady is for a bad man, and a bad man is for a bad lady. So it is like sometimes we are looking for a perfect partner, but we don't reflect ourselves. Are we that perfect that we are looking for someone very perfect? And maybe we see that we are imperfect, so that's why we want someone perfect to correct us, to turn us into someone perfect. Macam tongue twister okay, so yeah, it's just that lah that I found in the Quran that says about this thing.
Are you then saying that not everyone has the same definition of green flag then?
I think so, because I mean like from my personal opinion, green flag might sometimes turn amber and might turn into red. And it depends also. Elaborate how okay. Alright. For example, when you see a guy who is very devoted to the mother, it is a green flag. It shows that this guy is, mashallah, his ihtiram to the mother, his love, the way he is performing his tanggungjawab, his responsibility towards the mother is very good. That means if you are married to him, you can say that you will be treated that way. That means he respect a woman, he will also be respecting you. So that is a green flag. That is a green flag, right? So you can see that how he respect, how he care for the mother and the girl siblings in the family, perhaps. So that is a green flag. But this green flag can turn into a red flag if he is actually a mother's son, anak mak. He is too listen to the mother sampai
A trophy child.
Yes, correct. So sometimes the mother will like macam, you see lah,
Back to that.
Dependent lah. Dependent.
the Melayu, the drama Melayu, like whatever the mak cucuk-cucuk, then dia terus dengar cakap.
Dengar cakap.
Lagi-lagi struggle di bawah tapak kaki ibu kan?
Yes,
So,
correct.
yeah,
So later
take
maybe
it
we can get Kak Mashi ke to elaborate more on this. Yes,
yeah. So Kak Mashita, what are your thoughts about it when Jay said about when someone appear to embody the green flags of a ideal partner, somehow that green flag character can turn into amber, can even turn into red flag character, a character that can cause harm for the relationship. What are your thoughts about it? Do you think it's possible also?
It is possible, but it also has to take into account other circumstances. For example, if the man is himself is someone who is firm, naturally firm, and he has positive experiences in establishing boundaries, that means he himself knows how to articulate himself with his elders in a polite way. So you can put down his foot, on issues on matters of interference, on grandchildren or your own, in your life, that sort of thing. So it may not, or it may. And sometimes life events do happen that make a person falter. But generally, if a person matures, you see. So the man must be encouraged to establish his boundaries in that sense.
I suddenly remember the drama Melayu 7 Hari Mencintaimu or 7 Hari Mencintaiku, something like that. It is about this
7
guy.
hari je.
You have to watch it like you understand what the topic is.
It's like making her fall in love.
But the thing is, the husband really, 7 hari, the husband really like respect the mother sampai dia accidentally ignore the wife and tak pertahankan the wife, and from the green flag it becomes to red flag.
I think what I hear lah, correct me if I'm wrong, what I hear from Kak Mashita is that having green flag as an identifier as you get to know each other, it is not enough. A person needs to have skills, relationship skills, to
set boundaries,
to ensure that there's a respectful boundaries.
Yes. And in terms of how enmeshed the relationship is, sometimes the parent seeks the parent or the mother seeks the trophy son, to feel significant in his life. She wants to feel important. So if a matured man can identify that, to identify that the mother needs assurance in some areas, but he can still establish boundaries. You see, so we cannot fall into the trap of having these enmeshed relationships. We are both wholesome individuals who have right to what we want, and your parents who has the right to what they want, but we can draw a line somewhere that is respectful to both.
Allow me to just elaborate further. What does this enmeshed term mean? Enmeshed ni kan, okay, imagine that you are one person, imagine a Venn diagram, you are one person. This is Zakia, okay, this is Zakia's child. An enmeshed relationship is when this circle and this circle is almost merged together, trying to overlap another person's individuality.
Okay.
Yeah.
But especially in a parent-child relationship, the power dynamics is different. See, the parent feels in control, and that's normal for any parent. So as parents, we have to do right by our child to lower our ego, know, and the child will tend to feel responsible for the parents' feelings or that sort of thing. So the enmeshment is there. So it takes maturity and awareness, self-awareness. So the green flag in that prospective husband, one of the green flags is self-awareness. See, apart from knowing how to respect, self-awareness.
True.
It's actually to juggle between two women lah.
Both are whole individuals, right? And both have rights, and both are responsible over your own issues and your own emotions. So be responsible. Don't be.
That means, in summary, you can identify that the man is responsible, tapi to add on to that responsibility is to be that man kena ada self awareness lah. That means when actually senang je during the relationship, right? If let's say the mother call, tolong mak pergi hantar makanan, so you need to, okay, that time you belum lagi in marriage lah, but you need to also tengok lah how he manage during that situation. Let's say you are in that situation and how he's able to manage and talk to you ke atau macam mana. So I think that's also one key point to look out for.
So self-awareness, number one. Masya Allah, green flag number one, self-awareness.
So that would ensure respect and boundaries.
True.
So I think this one will lead to our next question kan, Kia. I mean Zack, this will lead to our next question. Like Kak Mashri said, is green flag observed or told?
I think it is both. A lot of times we define who our potential partner based on our own experience as someone, as a
Solat
child
5 kali
who observe our parents lah. It can be solat 5 kali, or however you observe your how your parents become how your parents being husband and wife themselves. So that becomes a model of how you feel or you imagine your role as husband and wife as well. So that's your first typically that's the first reference point.
Okay.
So you know why? Because every individual, we tend to seek the familiar. See? It's our brain filters. It's also our psychological filters. So we tend to seek the familiar. So what we see in our parents' relationship with each other, when we scan for future spouses, we tend to seek that same formula.
Whether we realize it or not.
Yes.
Somehow our body kind of respond towards the familiar, like what Kamashi said lah. Without us thinking about it.
That's why self-awareness is important.
But I'm looking at this question from other perspective, I'm looking at is it like that person tell you that I have this attribute, or is it like we see that is in that person and it is in that person?
Yes, I'm also looking at from that perspective. Is it that when you are close, when you're getting close to somebody kan, how is it that you know that he's not pretending or she's not pretending in front of you? Then when you balik room, or when she or he goes back home, right, he become another different person. That one, how do you identify? I mean, like
furthermore, like remember previous episode we talk about al-khitbah, that getting to know our future partner is not that we go date with them, we cannot sit bawah pokok dekat bawah tangga. So it is like we send someone else, right, to get to know them. So so that is how do we know whether macam sometimes like when we're talking about relationship in Islam, we don't encourage dating. So we don't spend 24 hours with our future husband, future spouse lah kan.
Maybe
so we
talk
don't know.
Maybe talk over the phone.
We don't know whether that attitude that we see dalam that short period of going out or what, that is not the real them. That is might be the fake part of them, like being like very caring, very responsible, jaga solat, gedebak, but actually the other like 20 hours out of that 4 hours they are with us, it is totally the different thing. So how? So is green flag being told, or we observe and we so-called judge whether it is the green flag or not?
Come on, Shi, you want to take it up?
Well, I mean, let's say we are in conversations. I mean, when you're choosing your perspective, you cannot help but be in continuous conversations with your future perspective, right? I mean, that is part of our personal merit in that sense. So judge by how you feel, your instinct. Does he sound like he's telling the truth? Because our instinct will tell us. That's one thing. When he says one thing today, and then next week he says another thing. Okay. Another way is when we visit the family, or when we interact with the family, or when we interact with his close friends, we see how he is, how he behaves among them. You know, we hear what the people say, report. You know, macam hadis gitulah kan, report on his behavior from other people who are close to him. So it is a mix of methods, I would say, where it's verbally, how we talk with him, what we can sense directly, and also what we can sense from what other people report about the person.
I also read upon this, right? There's a lot of people that actually say, you can observe a person, how he treats a waiter. Right? So if let's say accidentally the waiter spill air or spill drink, we can see the attitude of the person at that moment of time. Whether he's a patient person or whether dia marah or get angry with that waiter, you know?
As I'm listening to both of you, it reminds me that entering a relationship, you really cannot be buta. You really can't be blind. But there's a song, right? Say that cinta itu buta or something like that. Love is blind. Yeah, love is blind. So how do we then enter a relationship being awake?
Maybe it's blind because we're in the honeymoon phase, you know, like everything
So
is
the
so beautiful.
blindness is temporary?
Yes, the blindness is
Okay.
temporary.
Alright.
Because there is a psychological explanation for all this. Why they say love is blind? It's something to do with your transmitters in the brain. All that. There's a whole
Chemical
research. Yes, there's whole research.
So we have to leave that phase as fast as we can.
The oxytocin and
the
the
oxytocin,
euphoria.
all the hormonal.
But those are important.
Yes.
Those are really
Because it's-
mawaddah, right?
Yes,
That
because it's the law of attraction. See?
yes,
So
exactly. Those are
attraction is
important. You have to
important.
prove it, yeah.
Law of attraction. But normally, do you notice that during engagement yang banyak sangat all the different conflict? If you notice now, for myself banyak during engagement. It's like a testing period lah to know your partner. So
I also think that there is hikmah behind organizing your own wedding. Because when you're organizing, you're doing a project together, right? So that's when you really know your teammate.
Correct.
Yeah, you can see, you can observe how this other person make decision, how they respond to your nonsense, how they can tolerate. Yeah,
How to
so
fight over what color to choose.
correct. So
leadership.
conflict resolution.
conflict resolution. Yeah, it may seem trivial, but actually it serves a purpose, right?
So, and you know when you disagree over the details of the wedding, you start to get frustrated. So those are opportunities to conflict resolve in a mature way and learn to repair the relationship. And you know, you ground yourself back. So do you really want to get married or not? Like, what's the bigger picture here? Okay, since you know all these are like distractions. I mean, you'll get more of it during marriage, right? So this is a good practice.
True.
Yeah.
What's the destination here? Where? Yeah.
So we really on to the end. Yes, okay. Then we learn to repair the relationship. You know, learn to apologize, and then we move together.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we can discuss a bit more about what are the kind of green flags that you look for in a partner.
Kak Mashi, what do you think are the green
maybe-
flags?
Yeah, so we have discussed self-awareness,
Yes,
boundaries,
yeah.
respect. So the qualities that you want to look out for is your enthusiasm and ability to have lasting conversations. Because if it is your future best friend, you always want to talk to the person, right? You feel that there is this gut feeling that you know you can continue having this conversation for the long run.
That's my definition of a soulmate, though. Someone who
You know, like having two pairs of shoes, two pairs of aprons, two brackets in the house for the long run.
Okay,
Oops, K-drama termasuk.
that's a reference. That's a
Reference to
reference to
oops.
some K-drama.
Okay, right. I remember last week or early this week, I attended a talk about teknik komunikasi bahagia suami isteri. Okay, the speaker shared that there are 4 types of communication.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this episode.